and welcome to today's webinar. Today we're showing the results of an independent economic impact study on Protecht ERM conducted by Forrester. I'm Damien Stevens, Chief Product and Marketing Officer at Protecht, and I'm joined by Alicia Choo, a consultant from Forrester. Before we get started, a quick introduction to Protecht for those who may be new. We're a global GRC software company with teams in Australia, the UK and the US. We support more than 450 customers across a wide range of industries, and we've been helping organisations manage risk for over 25 years. Since joining Protecht in 2019, I've seen a clear shift in the GRC market. More organisations are moving away from spreadsheets and single-purpose tools. They're looking for integrated platforms that can scale with their business. And that's why we've commissioned this study with Forrester, to measure the real business outcomes customers achieve when they move to Protecht's modern unified platform. We'll step through the study approach, the methodology and the key findings, results we're very proud to share. But rather than hearing it all from me, I'll hand over to Alicia Choo from Forrester, who led the analysis and brought this study together.
Thank you for having me, Damien. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. I am a consultant from Forrester and I'm very excited to be here today to talk you through the findings. So, we were commissioned by Protecht earlier this year to conduct a total economic impact study. And before diving into the results, let me explain to you what a TEI study is. So a TEI is a Forrester framework designed to help quantify the business value of an organization's investment into a solution, in this case Protecht ERM. And there are 4 key elements to a TEI study. The first being benefits, where we look at the financial impact of positive business outcomes enabled by the solution. We look at costs and any kind of expenses incurred. Flexibility looks at the future potential value of the solution, and risk accounts for uncertainties across benefits and cost categories. And all of these elements are there to ensure that we deliver a credible and realistic total economic impact study. So here's an overview of how we approach our TEI studies. We first begin with due diligence understanding Protecht's solution. Then we go into interviewing 4 of Protecht's actual customers who provided us with the core insights to the study. And then we create a composite, and you can think of this as kind of a representative of all the customers we spoke to. And we create the financial model based on this composite organization. And after that, we write the case study. So what I'm going to be sharing today is really a summarized version of the TEI study that we have, and I highly encourage you to look at the full study for all the details. Here are the key findings from the TEI study that we have. We determined the following 3-year impact for the composite: a 210% ROI, $1 million in benefits, $711,000 in net present value, and a payback period of just 7 months. So a GRC officer that we spoke to also told us this about his interaction with Protecht. The first thing Protecht told them was that, what do you want the system to do, rather than here's what our system does. And they went with Protecht because they believed that Protecht was a system that could give them what they wanted at the time, but also what they wanted in the next 5 years. For context, here are the 4 customers we spoke to. They are all from the financial services industry, and we have a good representation across regions. We have a FSI company from UK, we have 2 FSI companies from Australia of varying sizes, one with 75 employees, another with 300 employees, and we also spoke to a larger enterprise in the US with 1,700 employees. And based on that, we then created this composite organization of these characteristics. It is a financial services firm headquartered in the US. They have 1,000 employees. They deploy Protecht's enterprise risk management solution and vendor risk management solution. They have 50 full users, 300 data entry users, and 25 vendor users. And so take note that this composite is what we use to aggregate the financial analysis. So let's dive deeper into the customer journey. What led to these customers to invest in Protecht or search for a solution like Protecht? So these were the key challenges that they experienced previously. The first being fragmented and manual processes. So risk teams were struggling as they were relying heavily on ineffective legacy solutions. Some of them were completely manual using spreadsheets, and all of them actually were using some form of spreadsheets to manage their risk. And that was really taking up a lot of manual time, and also it was very error prone. And due to the lack of a centralized system, they also found that they had limited visibility across teams. They also faced regulatory pressures where their current processes were not helping demonstrate compliance efficiently. And finally, scalability constraints was also one that came up. As the size of the business grew, the risk teams were just not able to scale with the size of the business. And a senior manager actually told us that their previous solution was expensive, it was hard to navigate, and they were not able to make changes themselves. They were just tangled in legacy data structures, and cleaning that was already half the battle. So all of these challenges really prompted these customers to look for a solution, and they eventually landed with Protecht. And here are some of the requirements that they were looking for in a new solution. They needed the solution to help streamline their processes. They needed greater visibility across teams. They also wanted to uplift the overall risk culture in the organization, and they had to allow the risk function to grow with the business. And finally, it's also very important for them to have a system that helped them to ensure regulatory readiness. And a GRC manager told us that they chose Protecht because it was the most flexible solution for their needs and size. It provided them with a lot more visibility across risks and controls, and it created a lot more accountability. So now let's understand, after their deployment with Protecht, what were the benefits that they experienced. And we were able to quantify 5 key benefits for the composite. These benefits total to around $1 million in benefits over 3 years. And let me explain to you each one of these benefits in more detail over the next few slides. So starting off with the first one, accelerated risk management workflows. So we heard from interviewees that previously they were really using a lot of manual spreadsheets to manage their risk, and that was inefficient and it took them a lot of time. But with Protecht, they now have configurable and dynamic risk registers, and that led to about a 60% reduction in their time spent managing risk registers. They also shared that previously the model risk attestation process was lengthy. They needed to do a lot of manual work, manual follow-ups, and paper-based approvals. But with Protecht, they now have automated workflows, and that resulted in around a 75% reduction in time spent on this process. A GRC manager actually shared with us that previously they were recording it by spreadsheets, they were chasing people for information, and they also did not have comprehensive registers of controls or business risks. So this benefit totals to about 411,000 of productivity gains over 3 years. And to understand how we got to this number, have a look at the full study. The details are in there, the calculations and all the assumptions are there. So moving on to the second benefit that we heard from customers, it's time savings from improved reporting capabilities. So previously, risk owners and managers were really struggling with updating information, extracting and compiling data from their spreadsheets or point systems for their risk reporting. And Protecht now gave them a dashboards and automated reporting, which actually enabled them to generate consistent, accurate reports instantly. And this helped reduce the time spent creating risk reports by 80%. The Director of Risk and Compliance actually told us that their previous system was not clean, it was not dynamic, and there was lots of manual investment into it and lots of room for error. And Protecht really helped them overcome this challenge and improve their reporting time significantly. And the third benefit here we have, it's the elimination of GRC-related professional services fees. So previously, some interviewees actually incurred this fee due to the siloed nature and complexity of the legacy system. When they made a change in one register, it was not actually reflected across all registers, so they had to manually do it across all the registers they had, and that was very time consuming. So they had to outsource this manual task of updating risk registers to a third party. But now with Protecht, updates are actually automatically synchronized across registers, and they no longer have this problem that they used to have. So this led to a savings of about $83,000 of avoided fees. And the fourth benefit, this is a straightforward one, right? Some customers were previously using a legacy GRC system, and since deploying Protecht, they were able to completely decommission their legacy system. And this led to a savings of about $354,000 over 3 years. A senior manager of enterprise risk support also told us that Protecht was actually about 52 to 60% cheaper than what they had been paying for in their previous solution. They also have service hours, and everything's covered by Protecht, and they have not had to pay for anything else. And moving on to the last benefit. So this one's a reduced effort in audit administration. So admin tasks related to closing audit findings are typically complex and labor intensive. So a CRO actually told us that for the audit findings, they had different actions, different due dates, different owners, and without Protecht, they had to capture it in a spreadsheet, they had to check it, they had to call and email people, then producing a report to close the finding. So it was very manual and a convoluted process, but Protecht was able to help streamline and automate this workflow, and that resulted in a 75% reduction in the time they used to spend conducting these audit administration activities. So that sums up the 5 benefits that we have quantified in the study. However, there were also other key benefits that customers shared with us but were not able to quantify, but these are still important, and let me run you through them. The first is an improved risk culture and ownership. If you recall earlier, one of the drivers for customers to invest in a new solution was also to uplift their risk culture internally. And this is what customers experienced, right? They saw a shift from compliance-driven behavior to actually proactive risk ownership. The second one is an intuitive user interface of Protecht really helped new users scale and pick it up quickly as compared to the legacy systems or manual workarounds. So those took a lot of time and a lot of RAM time for people to pick it up as compared to Protecht. The third, they are now able to create really specific and custom registers such as freedom of information requests, dev grants, things that they were not able to do previously. And they were also able to streamline incidents management. Through automation and workflow integration, they were really able to improve incident capture, triage, and resolution. There was also greater visibility across risk and compliance with a centralized system now. And finally, there's also enhanced vendor management, where they saw a reduced number of assessments in vendor onboarding due to increased monitoring. So those are all the key benefits that we have in the TEI study. And now let's look into costs. What were the costs that was incurred by the composite? So there are 2 primary categories of costs. The first being implementation and licensing costs paid to Protecht. This includes a one-off implementation fee and licensing fee. These total to about $175,000 over 3 years. And the second category of costs, it's internal deployment, training, and maintenance costs. So this includes internal effort to deploy solution, the time they spend on initial training, and minimal maintenance efforts such as resolving day-to-day issues, software updates, and learning about new features. So all of these total to about $163,000 over 3 years. And looking ahead, customers also expect to realize further value from Protecht. They are keen to expand the use of Protecht ERM, such as through additional modules like compliance management and cyber risk management. They are also looking forward to new AI features such as the AI chat features and using AI for data analysis. So to wrap up, here are the key statistics again, right? The composite achieved a 210% ROI, $1 million in benefits, net present value of $711,000, and a payback period of 7 months. And I want to leave you with a quote from a director of risk and compliance we spoke to. He said, "It's about the art of the possible at the moment. Protecht is helping them shape their strategic thinking about what they can do, and it offers the ability for a business to shape its future." So that's all I have today, and I hope you found that information helpful. I'll now hand back the time to Damien.
Thanks, Alicia. That's been a great project. We've really enjoyed working with you on it.
Same here, Damien. It's been a pleasure.
I think one of the things that stood out to me the most in the findings was not just the organizations are shifting from spreadsheets, but they're also moving away from legacy GRC systems that are not up to scratch or can't keep pace. Could you give us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the pain points not only come from customers who are just on spreadsheets, even those with legacy systems. They were telling us a lot about their challenges with the system not working for them. It was more like they were working for the system rather than having the system work for you, right? And they really wanted a lot more control and autonomy over how they can manage risk in their organization.
Yeah, that's exactly what we hear from our customers as well, that they need the flexibility and they need a software and a partner that can adapt with their needs. So it's really good to hear that being echoed from your study as well.
Yep.
I'm going to take it from here now, and I'm going to walk through a few examples of how Protecht actually delivers on what we've just mentioned. Thanks, Alicia.
Thank you.
Now, I couldn't resist putting some of these key findings back on the screen. There's something that we're really genuinely proud of, and they reflect more than 25 years of building and refining and investing in a platform designed to deliver real, measurable customer value. Beyond the time and cost savings, one of the biggest differentiators is our DNA. Protecht was founded by risk professionals with deep industry experience, and that heritage shapes everything that we build, and it's a key reason why customers keep trusting us to solve real-world problems. Protecht's enterprise risk management platform brings all the risks together in one interconnected system, supporting every stage of the risk lifecycle. It's highly configurable, so it adapts to your organization without the complexity. No coding, no heavy lifting. Just a flexible, powerful platform that delivers value fast, and helping teams work smarter, make better decisions, and unlock opportunity sooner. Protecht gives leaders real-time visibility to manage risk at every level. It's a system that evolves with you and your organization. So given the results that Alicia has outlined, the natural question is, how does Protecht help customers realize this ROI so quickly? Let me walk you through a few of the key features that help deliver those outcomes. As highlighted in the customer testimonials, our platform breaks down silos and provides the visibility needed for real-time decision making. The Risk in Motion dashboard shows this clearly. It brings data together from across Protecht to provide greater visibility across the organization. It also enables the Line 2 teams to monitor, validate, and challenge Line 1 risk assessments. By viewing the full risk lifecycle, including controls, audits, key risk indicators, and more, Line 2 feels like they're in a position to understand what's really going on in the business. Our platform connects data across the entire lifecycle, from enterprise level right down to individual business units. This moves teams beyond the high-level oversight to clear, on-the-ground risk understanding. The risk profile report brings it all together, consolidating related data into a single unified view, so teams can assess risk clearly and confidently. According to Forrester, Protecht ERM cuts down report creation time by up to 80%, delivering immediate productivity gains. Our out-of-the-box dashboards and reports streamline risk reporting across the organization, from individual business units right through to the board. The report also found a 75% reduction in audit administration time. Having all the risk and control data in one central place gives audit teams faster access to the information they need. This out-of-the-box audit dashboard shows how customers can take a risk-based approach to managing their risk audit universe. Another key finding, a 60% reduction in the time spent creating and managing risk registers. With Protecht's marketplace, customers can download ready-to-use templates, based on best practice from risk professionals to get up and running quickly. And if needed, our local in-house implementation team can configure the system around your specific processes. Or you can do it yourself using our no-code platform. We also support customers well beyond implementation. Through Protecht Academy, teams gain access to self-paced training and short user videos. They help teams build confidence quickly as they deploy and operate their GRC solution. Teams can also access step-by-step guidance through our Help Center, and now through Cognita, our purpose-built AI assistant. Cognita guides users using simple, natural language chat. Forrester also found that customers often start small with Protecht, but quickly scale their use of the platform over time. This snapshot shows how customers expand into new use cases, including cyber risk, third-party risk, regulatory areas like operational resilience, business continuity, and ESG. Once again, a big thank you to Forrester for all their great work, and thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about Protecht or request a demo, simply scan the QR code on the screen and one of our team will be in touch. You can also request a demo through the post-webinar survey. We genuinely value your feedback. It helps us keep improving these sessions. That's all from me for today. Thanks again for joining us. We hope that these Forrester results will give you the confidence in choosing Protecht as your GRC partner. Have a great day.